What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
AFC South side. AFC South side. AFC. Are you ready for the fight? Nighty night, lights out, no Tyson. About to be the clash of the Titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a joke, like to hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a Jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we've got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Matthew Briggs. Sam is still, she's still healing from her surgery of transitioning to a man, so she will not be with us today. With me, though, I got representing the Titans from the Titans Coliseum itself, long time no see, Mr. RJ Ellison.
Yeah, man. Good to see y'all boys, man. I'm glad to be back on here again, man. It's been good talking to y'all.
And representing the AFC South champions, the Houston Texans themselves, got Mr. Harley Dugan from the league.
Going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
And then representing the Colts, we got Mr. Josh Sr.
What's good?
And the diehard Jags fan, we got Mr. Ammo. How's it going, Ammo?
Oh, just chilling.
Yes, sir. Guys, how are we doing this offseason so far?
Winning the Super Bowl.
Fantastic. Everyone wins the Super Bowl, buddy.
When did you become a Texans fan, Ammo?
Oh man, Texas in us.
Everybody's winning the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, y'all got to get past the AFC Championship for y'all talk Super Bowl, bro. Yeah, something, bro.
No. We're at that part of the year where everybody's winning the Super Bowl.
Well, you know what, we will last longer in the playoffs than Will Levis did with Gia Gutty. Okay, I'll just say that here. All right.
Yeah,
well, guys,
one game, man, ain't enough, man.
Well, let's get into why we're here. Let's talk some football. We haven't been on for a while, so we missed the draft recap and the schedule releases. So we'll talk it now. First off, let's talk the Titans. RJ, let's start with you, man. The draft. How did you like your draft?
I thought it was a pretty much needed draft. Like, I didn't. I'm gonna say this. I really do like JC Latham. I thought the reason why I never had him as my number one. Obviously I had I think it was Joe as my number one, but I didn't know that JC Latham could play left tackle. But I always liked him in the draft because I watched, obviously, as a Tennessee Vols fan, I watched Bama games, and man, he always was mauling people, man, and you couldn't really do much on him. And we had a top 5 pass rusher. He's going to be probably the number 1 pick next year. And he went against and James Pierce, man, one of the top edge rushers. He went against JC Latham. He didn't do anything. JC Latham was stonewalling him. So until he had to go, he made him have to go to the other side. So I was like, man, that JC Latham dude, he's a beast. So I would love to have him on the Titans, but can he play on the left side? And once Bill Callahan basically, he was his number 1 guy, and he said that when he was going to put him on the left side, I was cool with the pick. I really, really liked T'Vondre Sweat, but at the time I definitely wanted Cooper DeJean because I wanted to put him at safety or just have a guy you could put all over the field. But most definitely like T'Vondre Sweat, man, right next to Jeffrey Simmons. I think they're going to be a good duo for the next 4 years, depending on if he makes it to a second contract or not. Cedric Gay will be a starter. I think he is. Granted, I think linebacker isn't a hard position to find, so I do like the pick, man. I think he was supposed to go 3rd round. We wound up getting him in the 4th. Jarvis Brownlee, he's a physical corner, man, can definitely learn under Denard Wilson. Jaquan Jackson will be our returner. James Williams will also be a linebacker, and Harold will probably be a depth piece at the edge. So,
okay. Other than RJ, anybody else have any thoughts on this Titans draft? Harley, you have anything?
Solid draft overall. JC Latham, hey, I'm not going to question offensive line pick when they got Bill Callahan as offensive lines coach. I mean, he's one of the best to do it, so I'm not going to question it whatsoever. I thought it was silly the offseason video that was put out with J.C. Latham and struggling to move the bag, and then everyone overreacted to that till extra context was necessary for it. I mean, it's Bill Callahan. I'm not going to question anything he does. But other than that, I mean, Tavondre Sweat, I don't know exactly what the defensive scheme they're running off the top of my head. I don't. RJ knows better than me. But just the tandem between him and Jeffrey Simmons, hey, that poses a threat to any offensive lineman here in the AFC South. So overall, first two picks really good. The rest, I'm not quite too sure into. I haven't really dug deep into it.
Emma, Josh, y'all got anything?
No, I have nothing. I told RJ when they got that Bama boy, that was a good pick. Because I knew some wanted Neighbors and Romeo. A lot of guys wanted Romeo. So to get offensive lineman, knowing that their offensive line was pretty bad last year, it's probably worse in the division outside of what Houston went through with the injuries. So getting a guy like him definitely helped on the offensive side. And then just getting getting Sweat. I mean, he was probably one of the best DTs in the draft. So definitely helped their pass rush and their inside stopping the run, because he's definitely a run stopper. So getting that pick was good too.
Emma, any last thoughts?
No, I agree. Like, the only thing that Sweat is kind of a boomer bust pick. There are some off the field concerns with him, and it's like if he's got that straight, the dude's an absolute animal on the interior. So if he got that straightened out, that's a great pick. And you put him with Jeffrey Simmons, that's tough to guard for any interior.
Yeah, it's his work ethic, right? Like, he can come in here and be a beast, or he can be the next Isaiah Wilson and drop a mixtape,
That's what you praying. That's what you banking on.
Yeah, nobody. Oh, it's true though, right? I mean, that's
hey, J-Rob not making these picks no more, man. You ain't got to worry about that happening no more.
Well, I mean, that's his biggest knock though, right? Like his work ethic, he's too big coming in. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be hateful.
No, you're not.
But I mean, I am because of the Titans, but I'm just saying that's what people are saying. So hopefully for y'all's sake that it's something different. All right, well, we'll go to the schedule. Before I get your prediction, RJ, I want to get the other guys' prediction. Looking at this schedule, Emma, I'm gonna start with you.
This is gonna be good.
What you got the Titans going?
0-17.
Oh, is that for real? 0-17?
No, they're gonna.
I was gonna say, like, man,
they got to play the Patriots, so they got to get at least one, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Fucking A. I don't know. I think they probably win 7 or 8 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take that. That's an increase from last year.
Josh, what about you? What you got?
Yeah, I'm saying the same. I think that between 7 and 8 games, but I got this 7, maybe win 10 out of that. My only question mark would be during the schedule, they can lean heavily on Derrick Henry, but since they don't have him, what would be the identity? So we'll see that during the season.
Okay. And Mr. Dugan, what about yourself, brother?
Gut reaction was just looking at it was like 6 wins. It really depends on, and this goes for, all the AFC South quarterbacks, but I mean, it really depends on, what are you going to get out of Will Levis this year? Offensively, you can criticize it however much you want about the guys they added and the money they spent. At the end of the day, who's on the roster? They got themselves one of the best trios of wide receivers in the NFL right now. I mean, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tyler Boyd. That's a hell of a trio. Whether or not you hate Titans or, you're a fan of them, that's a hell of a trio just as a football fan perspective. So with that dual running back system, Pollard, I'm a big fan of Tyjae Spears. I've been watching him at Tulane for quite some time because I'm a Houston Cougar fan, and I was watching the AAC, and I mean, Tyjae Spears was absolutely awesome at Tulane. So with the scheme of Callahan, who has a similar Kubiak-style scheme, I think Spears fits that perfectly. Pollard goes back to that dual threat guy who did fantastic at the Cowboys when he was just a featured back as well. I mean, I could see 6, even push it to maybe 7 or 8 wins. But again, this is really dependent on how Will Levis takes the necessary leaps for this team. It's where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them. I think I predicted them at 8 wins. They play a 4th place schedule, so I have them barely missing the playoffs with 8 wins. And the great thing about the AFC South, every team's on the up, so it's finally going to be not the laughing stock of the NFL. So there's going to be some respect to it. All right, RJ, tell us what you got, brother.
Well, I'll say this. I do have the Tennessee Titans starting off very bad. Starting off, I say we're gonna start the season off probably like 1-3. We're gonna get to that bye week, man, and everything's gonna be, oh, we need to fire Rand, we need to fire Brian Callahan was the problem. I mean, like we should have kept Vrabel, all this other weird stuff in the bye week. And we're gonna play the Colts, and that's when I got us getting our second win. Sorry, Josh. But I think it was just a lot of teams that I just feel like, you know, as the season progresses, I feel like the Titans are a team that's going to get better and better, man. And I just feel like once we get towards that end of the schedule, man, we got to play every single one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think that we're going to be playing some really good football. So I do got to say 9-8. I think we're going to finish second in the division, and that's my been my record prediction. You know what I'm saying, since the schedule been out. So
okay, so second in the division. All right.
I got second in the division, man.
I love it.
Obviously, I got you garbage Texans and winning it again.
Hey, I'll take that again.
Garbage Texan fan.
Yeah. 2 of them. Well, any thoughts on the Titans before we move on? No? All right. Well, just like Will Levis, that was quick. All right. Moving on to the Colts. Josh Senior. Starting off with the draft, what do you thought?
Man, I love this draft, man. I know a lot of people made fun of our first pick at 15 with Latu because you had Dallas Turner there as well, and we could have had Mitchell from Toledo, and we passed up and got Latu. But people don't understand that we got one of the better pass rush in the draft. The guy had a bunch of pressures and led. I think he had a lot of sacks within the last 2 seasons. The guy's good. I mean, really, really good. He has a high motor. I know people question where he was forced to retire back in 2-3 years ago, but the guy still played, and he's made an impact on that UCLA team. So getting that guy and with the team, with the quarterbacks in his division, we need a pass rusher. You guys know that our pass rush has been ass for probably since we've been a team. No, but since Robert Mathis and Freeman left, our pass rush has been a question mark for years. And getting a guy like Latu who can get to that quarterback, get to a guy like CJ. We saw what happened in Week 18. We couldn't get to CJ. He cooked our ass the whole game. So getting a guy like him, and getting A.D. Mitchell. I've always had a question. I always questioned why we haven't got a receiver, a dog receiver, for the past couple of seasons to go with Pittman, and we got one in A.D. Mitchell, who had a chip on the shoulder because he thought he could have been drafted a lot higher, and so now he's wearing number 10 because he said that's 10 receivers were drafted before him, and he's holding that against everybody. So he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. And like the picks with the offense, more depth with Matt and Toner, getting another returner in Anthony Gold. I like the Jalen Carlisle's pick, went from safety to linebacker. And the Jonah pick from Oklahoma, add another depth guy in the interior on the defense side. That's going to help too for us stopping the run because you guys got a lot of running backs in here with Mixon and ETN and Tony Pollard. So it's going to be tough to stop. So getting another guy to go with Warren Davis and go with Stewart and going with my boy Defoe Buckner. So I like all these picks. I question some of the other picks like Jalen Simpson because he's not Jalen Simpson, Micah, because we should definitely we could have got a cornerback higher or sooner, but we still got an opportunity to get a cornerback before the season start. I know you guys wanted Xavier Howard. We got an opportunity to get Xavier Howard and some other cornerbacks. So towards the draft, I love it. Let's see what the guys do going into year one.
I mean, as a Texans fan, I'm glad y'all didn't get any more corners because we could do what we did last year. But thoughts on the draft? Anybody? Mo, start with you.
Kind of the same thing as the Titans. Like, good first round pick, second round pick is another boom or bust kind of guy. Another one that weird report came around that if his blood sugar's off with the diabetes, he's got issues and his work ethic isn't there. But if you keep that under control and you got him under control, he's like one of the best players to have on your team. He's a great teammate. He's out there. He's working hard. So I don't know how true that is. You know how the draft always has those weird random stories that are just full of shit, so
every year.
So it's one of those things. If he's checked out with that and that's not an issue, that kid is very talented, and it's another good first 2 picks for a division rival. So that sucks. So
yeah. RJ, any thoughts?
I really like Latu, man. That was my number 1 pass rusher because everybody was telling me Dallas Turner this, Turner that, and I was like, you know what? Because that was the time whenever they were talking about the Titans was going to Alabama Pro Day and looking at Dallas Turner, and that was like, so we might go pass rusher, and they kept on saying we would go pass rusher, and I'm like, and I started looking at the pass rushers, and Latu definitely stuck out, man. When it comes to technique, man, and his speed, man, and just his game record ability, man. I think he's a good player, man. I told every Colt fan that I seen, I was like, man, y'all boys got to steal, you know what I'm saying? But the only thing about him, I guess, he had a neck injury or something like that. So
yeah,
other than the neck injury, man, I think it was a good pick. I do like A.D. Mitchell too, man. Obviously, like I said, my team playing the SEC. He was really good at Georgia. And, when I seen what he did at Texas, man, it seemed like he elevated his game. He reminds me of Brandon Ayuk a little bit. So I really like A.D. Mitchell, but I don't really know about the rest of the other guys. Them are other picks I ain't, do research on. So.
All right, Harley, what you got?
Latu arguably had, I don't even think it's an argument, but I think he had the best pass rush move set across all of the edge rushers in the NFL draft. There was multiple scouts that said that consistently. A.D. Mitchell, super underutilized in Georgia, goes to Texas. Gets somewhat utilized there. You got to see a lot more flash and a lot more explosive plays from him overall. I wonder how that's going to fit in with Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson, and Jonathan Taylor as well. Overall, first 2 picks, cool. Jalen Simpson, he's a really good dog, man. I'll say that. From Auburn, somebody that they grabbed late, but man, his highlights are fun to watch. He's got a lot of fun explosive plays out of him from Auburn. Overall, though, I'm trying to figure out the secondary for the Colts. Juju Brents hopefully takes a good step for them next year. Obviously not for anybody else in the division. But I'm kind of questioning the secondary. That's the only thing I thought the Colts should have maybe addressed a lot more in this draft, maybe even double dip into that position group, just considering they didn't get nobody in free agency. Kenny Moore's still there. Cool. Okay. Juju Brents, what are we going to get from him? We cooked him in week 18. I have no problem going up against him one more time. I got, Stephon Diggs added to this wide receiver group, so I am definitely not scared of no Juju Brents, nor should Titans fans, nor should Jags fans. Nothing in the secondary is really making me go, oh, okay. That's the only thing I'm looking at with this Colts team. Sure, Xavier Howard, but he doesn't do a lot for me. You need something else besides that.
Yeah, especially the drop off, right? Like they, not just that they double dip, but they should have went a lot sooner because the talent dropped off after the second round, and then kind of picked up about 4th or the 5th. So yeah, I agree with you. They should have attacked it a little bit sooner. So, well, moving on to the schedules. Again, let's start off. Hard, I'm going to start with you. Look at the schedule. What you got their record going?
Right off the gate, you're facing 3 teams, Texans, Packers, Bears. I look at the wide receivers. We just talked about the secondary, right? Texans, boom, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and oh my goodness, am I blanking on the third guy's name? Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, excuse me. Packers, you got Jordan Love, and you got whatever he's going to do there with the Green Bay Packers. Who knows? But he had ended the season very strong. The Bears, they just added Keenan Allen. They got Adunze. I'm missing somebody else there, but they got a trio of wide receivers as well. Yeah, we go. So, I mean,
they got Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett too at tight end.
I mean, I believe that's 3 of the top 15 receiving yards leaders that you're facing in the first 3 weeks right there. That's pretty elite. Then that's pretty hard to fight right there. Overall, that comment's kind of blocking my path. Overall, just gut check. You know, I'm just a big believer of Shane Steichen, and I liked him. I wanted him as a coach. I preferred D'Amico. Maybe that was a little Houston bias in me, but I loved what Shane Steichen brought to the table as a head coach. And I did not want a pairing of him and Anthony Richardson. I just thought similar to what Cole Thompson said last week. If Anthony Richardson was going to go anywhere, it was going to be wherever Shane Steichen went, and he just happened to be inside the division. You know, I'm looking at depends on the health of Anthony Richardson, you know, and that's going to be a talking point for Anthony Richardson, maybe his career right now. I know it's only 1 year, but that's definitely still a talking point before the Colts. Now, during with the Colts, he finishes the year, he plays healthy. I could see the Colts winning 10 games.
Okay, I like it. Makes the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, double-digit wins. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, gut reaction. This is the first time I really looked at their schedule like this.
I got you. All right, Emma, what about you, brother?
I think that they probably win 8 games, but I think they have a higher ceiling than the Titans do. They could push for 9 or 10 wins, depending. But I think 8 is probably where they end up.
Okay. And RJ,
I got the Titans and Colts the same record. I got 9-8 for the Titans and Colts. So I think we're gonna finish either 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at.
Okay. And I'm with Harley and with Cole Thompson that was on the Texans fan battle. It all depends on Anthony Richardson, right? Like if he can stay healthy, this team is scary. I hate that we have to face him twice a year. So if Anthony Richardson stays healthy and continues that growth, I see him fighting for the Texans for the first place, but they finished with 10-7. So, Josh, what about you? What do you got?
Yeah, I got still at 10-7. And you know the low, I got it. You know, maybe 8 or 9 wins again from last year, winning 9. I had an opportunity to win 10, but we could finish that last drive. Like you guys said, I mean, the first game is don't make it easy because we played the same team that finished us off last year. No Diddy. So just having that team again, it does motivate our team because we're one play away of possibly winning the game, and so the team motivated to play the same team again. We're going to get y'all very best, and we're going to give y'all our best with our quarterback. Last time y'all faced our quarterback, we went up quick 14-0. So we'll see how we play this time. So we're definitely ready to see that.
I think the NFL dropped the ball. I think they should have put the Texans and Colts week 18 again. Like it should be the last game of the week again because every year, last 2 years, it's been game changing. Last year was playoffs, and the year before that, thank God the Colts lost that game because we got C.J. Stroud.
Stop saying that, man. We benefited from y'all too. We benefited. We benefited.
So yeah, I think they should have kept it week 18 matchup, but there's a reason why
we got Jacksonville week 18 now. So I mean, it don't make it any better.
Well, luckily you got them at home instead of away because if it was in Jacksonville, that'd be an automatic loss. So you got lucky that it's not in Jacksonville. And what was the last time they won at opening day, Josh? 2014?
No, since my kids were born.
Well, there you go.
Golly.
So that's nothing to be excited about, but everything's meant to be broken. But going against the Texans, man, that's gonna be a tough.
Is it weird that I actually had the Colts winning that first game? I just feel like got a feeling, man, that y'all gonna come out there and beat they ass.
I got a feeling, bro.
You think the Colts are gonna beat the Texans?
Yes, I
got
think they're
opinions.
gonna blow
Yeah,
y'all out, bro. I don't think it's gonna be
well,
close.
no. I'm not saying that. I ain't saying that.
Okay.
But we had a chance. We had a chance last year to beat Jacksonville. We had Ammo nervous as hell on the podcast the following week, only winning by 10 points. So we get them boys running for their money. So I mean, I don't doubt that we can do the same thing for Houston, because Houston on the high right now. They got all these players, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna be 13-4. So no, we're gonna make sure that they get their first L in Indy.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a tough task. Well, talking about Ammo, let's jump to the Jags there, Ammo. What do you think about your draft first off?
Dude, it's kind of the same sentiment of the last two teams, man. Great first round pick and another boomer bust type of player in the second round. Mason Smith, if you go back to his film in 2021, like he's got some good stuff that he put out there. Didn't play a lot, dealt with some injuries. Back half of the year, he started to come on again, but that's one of those Trent Baalke picks. If he can get his hands on as many defensive linemen as possible, he's going to do it. But if there's a position that I am going to trust him drafting at, it is defensive line. Wide receivers, he's probably the worst general manager of all time at drafting wide receivers. So that gives me a little bit of a concern about Brian Thomas, but I still like the kid. I think it's a good pick. We haven't had that kind of speed in some time, so that'll be good for us. Gabe Davis has got good speed. It's a good offense, I think. Jarian Jones, I like that pick. I think he gets slotted in as the starting nickel right out of the gate. He's got a good attitude for DB, like got that I want to go after you, high energy type player. Definitely need that in that DB room. And I really like the Prince pick as well. Okay. Nielsen likes his press man scheme, and they definitely went out and drafted guys that like to get their hands on wide receivers. So I like it. Replacing Williams with Darby, better scheme fit. So secondary, I'm glad I'm not the Colts. But again, Miles Cole, I gotta talk about this one. The dude had the absolute longest arms in the draft, and Trent Baalke could not help himself. That is his number one thing when he drafts players. He looks at arm length, and he couldn't help himself getting the fucking guy with the longest arms with the last pick. So,
okay, all right. So you like it, huh?
It's solid. You know, like there's some question marks, like Jordan Jefferson in the 4th round. Like I think there was actually better LSU defensive linemen still on the board at that point, in my opinion. What's his name? Wingo.
Yeah.
He was still on the board at that point. Like I thought that was a better pick than Jefferson, but Javon Foster, kind of a swing tackle option. We have 3 solid tackles right now, so he doesn't have to be forced to play. And then the kicker. That's a good pick. We need a kicker. McManus was good in the beginning of the year and then was absolutely terrible. So needed something. I don't know.
All right. Well, RJ, what do you think about the Jaguars draft?
I really like Brian Thomas Jr., man. He was one of the guys, man. I was like, yeah, bro. I wanted one of those LSU receivers, man. Obviously, I wanted Malik Neighbors, but man, Brian Thomas Jr., man, he's just as much of a dog as well, man. Like I said, I've never seen him in a wide receiver 1 role, so we'll see what he does in the near future with the Jags. But I really believe, like, with his skill set, man, he could be a really, really good receiver. Mason Smith, that's the guy from Michigan, right?
Nah, LSU again.
LSU.
Oh, okay. Not my bad. I'm thinking of Chris Jenkins. My fault. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't know too much about Mason Smith, man. I never got a really chance to really watch him at LSU.
There's not a lot of tape.
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't get a chance to look. Only person I really knew was Brian Thomas out of you guys' draft. So,
okay. Harley, what about you? What do you think?
I like the first 2 picks. I really do. Brian Thomas Jr. is just a boatload of fun when you look at the film. He is just, to me, he's fantastic, and there's reasons why I did not want the Colts or the Jaguars to end up with one of the top corners or wide receivers in this draft. Almost happened, so I was really like, oh, the Jags did pass up on BTJ, and then it didn't happen that way. But, you know, regardless, I like Mason Smith. I know, there's not a lot of film on him just because of the multiple injuries he's had, the really bad injury that really sidelined him. But I thought he was somebody that the Houston Texans would look after. He was a 5-star athlete coming into the college. He's got all the traits. He's got everything you need to be a game-wrecking defensive tackle. I had, what's his name? Jordan Reed, who's a scout draft analyst for ESPN. He said, super underrated guy. If he's healthy, he's arguably one of the best DTs coming out of the draft. So I'm really high on Mason Smith. They got Ryan Nielsen as defensive coordinator, something that needs to get talked about a lot more. Really good defensive coordinator, had a good year with the Atlanta Falcons. So after them two, Jordan Jefferson, solid defensive tackle. I like Keelan Robinson just because I've seen a lot of his play for Texas. I like what he brings. I liked him as that change of pace back for, my goodness, I am blanking on a lot of names. Bijan Robinson. Nope, that's not him. The other running back that got drafted from Texas. There we go. Something like that.
No,
I'm a little rusty. I haven't done a video in a while. So, yeah. Overall, though, that's what I'm looking at with this Jags team.
Okay. Josh, last words?
The only picks I know is all the LSU players that they drafted. But I definitely wanted Brian Thomas Jr. I think at our second-round pick. But we did get with Eddie Mitchell. I definitely didn't want anybody in this division to get any of the LSU receivers or top receivers in that draft. So having Jacksonville getting Brian Thomas Jr., it was like a huge fuck you. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. Go ahead and fuck you, Jacksonville, because you lose Calvin Ridley, and you turn around and get Brian Thomas Jr. It's just like, man, you guys keep continuing drafting good receivers, and of course you only got some in free agency in the past with Christian Kirk. So I just don't like what Jacksonville are doing or trying to build. Maybe because I just hate Jacksonville overall. So yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying, and you are making a point, but you remember last time, Josh, that somebody traded got rid of their star receiver and drafted one in the name of Cheeseburger Burks. Oh, we don't need AJ Brown. AJ Brown.
Here we go.
Whoa, that's not a comparable situation.
Man. You're not going to get me on that no more, man. If he show up this year, I will. I already told my boy Trey, man. I said, man, I'm gonna apologize to you, bro, because I showed thought this dude was a bust. If he show up this year, we'll see, man. Maybe Vrabel was a problem.
Well, we'll see.
Don't feel bad, man. I'm calling Alan Pierce a bust, so don't feel bad. He cooked.
Well, let's jump to the schedule. But I do gotta say, out of all the schedule themes, maybe it's the comic book nerd in me, but I gotta say the Jaguars have the best theme. A big X-Men guy, so kudos to the Jags. Harley, I'll start with you, man. What you got the Jags going?
Yeah, and first time really taking a depth look into this.
That's the best way to do it, man.
First 4 games, man. Miami, Cleveland, Buffalo, Houston, Indy. Jesus Christ. And then you got back-to-back UK. Oh, my goodness. Man, when I look at the Jaguars, again, and this is the same conversation we were having with the rest of this AFC South, but it really depends on what is the necessary steps Trevor Lawrence is going to take this year. Really, a lot of people want to discount the rookie year with Urban Meyer? Yeah. Urban Meyer, who was to me the worst head coach hiring next to David Culley. Like, I thought it couldn't get worse than David Culley. Jag said, hold my beer. Let me get Urban Meyer. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? I hear local radio talking about, Urban Meyer, man, he's going to be great. No, he's not. F that. Anyway, that's a tough start to the schedule. Overall, I mean, the Jaguars fell, what were they, 8-9 last year? 9-8. I guess eight wins was the gut reaction just looking at this. 8 wins. The Jaguars didn't do enough for me in the offseason to really take a next step. Yeah, they got some pieces here and there. Their wide receiver core is solid, But I'm still questioning whether or not Trevor Lawrence is the guy for Jacksonville in the future.
Oh, okay.
You hear that, Mo?
Oh man, some tough words
He
there.
tired of these conversations.
Yeah. Josh, what about you? What you got?
Tired, man.
Are you there, Josh? Well, let's go to RJ. RJ, what you got the Jags going?
I got
My bad, man.
Oh, let Josh go ahead and go.
Go ahead, Josh.
Like the super fan in me, they can lose every game, every goddamn game on the schedule. Because I'm sick of goddamn ammo.
Jacksonville
Yeah.
game.
Ammo been trolling his ass off for the past month about everybody's team and their free agency and their draft picks, and they got a mid quarterback in Jacksonville with the same numbers as Daniel Jones and Gardner Minshew. It's time to just go ahead and move on. These guys are going to be really bad next year. They're going to win.
Want us to move on.
These guys are going to win between 6 to 7 games, and they're going to fire Doug Peterson.
He beat me to it, bro. He beat me to it, bro.
Not a bad one. It's not, but that's not the worst thing there.
Well, RJ, what you got?
My prediction, man, I had the Jags at 7-10, man, and I think Doug Peterson up out of there, man. I just think that, man, like the Jags are doing what we was doing, man. We blew the division, bro, on for the three-peat, man, and everything just fell apart, bro. That loss y'all took at week 18 to Tennessee, bro, that's gonna make y'all. It's gonna break y'all.
About those situations are comparable.
Yeah, it is, man.
We didn't have a 30-something-year-old quarterback that was aging and a running back that was aging and a team built for a 1960s football. We're not built that same way. It's not a comparable situation.
Yeah, but I say this though, man. Like you can't just take no heartbreaking L like that, man. Just think your team's gonna come next season and just run through folks. Like
you
it's
can't
just
think a loss that happened 7 months before has any effect on what happens the next year.
True.
Unless it's a playoff or Super Bowl win or loss.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I know I'm one of your favorites on the show, but you're gonna hate me.
Yeah, well, I already know you because you're gonna say something mad disrespectful, and it's all right.
This is my reason because you might agree with my reason. Y'all did a great job of getting a defensive-minded coach on your coordinator, but the bad thing is, Press Taylor is still your offensive coordinator. That is going to be your downfall. I'm sorry, that sells kryptonite, and I think y'all fall to 6 wins this year, probably maybe 5. And I think I'm not going to go RJ deep. I'm not going to say Doug Peterson gets fired, but I think this is
5 games he should be fired.
I think Balky gets gone, and I believe Press Taylor finally gets to Axe too. Yeah, because that's what needed 2 years ago. But yeah, 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, Jazz gonna be last in the division. That's my prediction. They're gonna be last in the division.
Not because of the roster and the talent. It's because of scheming and play calls. Because Press Taylor
and quarterback
is terrible. not even quarterback. Because I think he's still being hindered by Press Taylor. Press Taylor is not doing anything with him, so who knows?
Come on, Matt. We had some good quarterbacks. Andrew Luck had some bad OCs, and Andrew Luck still played well. We got to use the quarterback as in
my division. In my opinion, Trevor Lawrence is still number 2 in the division.
There's no doubt about that.
No, I agree with it for now.
It's Trevor Lawrence, right? But yeah, all right, Amo. You've been sitting on it enough, brother. What you got?
I just love this. I love that this is on a podcast recorded so that y'all motherfuckers can't go back on what you said because that's some disrespectful shit that I just heard. 6, 7, 5 wins. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Hey, at least I gave reasonable.
I'll give you the Press Taylor point of view.
I gave him 7 wins though.
I said 7. So it ain't too bad, bro. Y'all
Harley gave 8, right, Harley?
I said 8.
He was the only one that was being somewhat reasonable here. Okay.
It's all right. They the same old to me.
Listen.
All right, so what you got? What do you got them?
They're going to win 10 games. 11 if things go right. 9 if some bad shit happens. If Trevor plays all 17 games and he doesn't have 4 or 5 different injuries back to back to back to back, we're having a completely different conversation about how that season ended. So we're acting like it's all just bad play, but you also have a dude who played through 4 different injuries. And all those bad numbers you're really talking about happened after the injury. So you can
He played on the field. He
but-
played on the field, man.
Yeah,
He
where
took
was
that
your
out,
guy?
man.
He didn't play through any injuries.
True. So you got 10-7 making playoffs?
10-7 making the playoffs. Depends on how the Texans do it, whether it's a division win. It's going to be like, for me, this division, all around, it's a more level playing field on paper than we've seen in a couple years. Last year, nobody thought the Texans were going to go out and win the division. People had them.
Yeah, Harley had it.
There were a few that were out there, but a vast majority of people did not have the Texans winning that division.
No.
Things completely shifted, and now I think it's a much more even balance. I think everybody's going to be within like 3 wins from first place to 4th place, like 3 or 4. It's not going to be one team with 4 wins and a team with 13 wins like some of these other divisions will be. It's going to be a bloodbath all the way throughout the year.
Yeah.
Kind of like the AFC North.
But we literally we play all 3 of y'all in the last 3 games of the season. Like we either ending somebody's season or somebody ending ours. Like it's gonna be.
You got division to end. Oh,
3 games in the division to end the season, bro.
That's tough.
We got nothing but bloodbaths. Like,
well, speaking of the AFC South champions, Harley, let's start off with you. What do you think about this draft?
Draft. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all.
Start off with Harley.
Oh, I think you said RJ. My bad.
No, you're good, bro.
It's okay. Draft was all right. Kamari Lassiter, cool. I didn't really know too much about him before he was selected. I'll be completely honest. I knew a little bit about him. I was really hoping for an Edgerrin Cooper, but Kamari Lassiter, solid secondary pick. Blake Fisher, totally unexpected in my opinion, considering the amount of draft capital that has been invested into the offensive line, as well as trade capital and free agency. It's just like, okay, what else do the Texans need to put into the offensive line? That just tells me what is the meter on Titus Howard. Like, how confident are they with him? Because Blake Fisher played very well at Notre Dame. And John Harris, and I haven't told anyone this yet, but John Harris is somebody that covers the Houston Texans. He works for the Houston Texans. But he told me and Pendergast this privately, that he believes Blake Fisher could take Titus Howard's spot. And that's, a little bit of eye-shocking to me. Kalen Bullock, I liked out of USC. You needed somebody to be that free high safety that D'Amico could go back into playing more of that cover 3 that he did with the San Francisco 49ers. Couldn't do a lot of that. And when he tried, you got diced up many times just because Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie are not, high free safeties. They're not center fielders. Kalen Bullock is. His tackling's got to get a lot better. That's a big point for him. Jamal Hill, I like, speedy linebacker, but a project guy for D'Amico Ryan, somebody that he can have fun with. And he's going to be a special teams guy just to start out. So Frank Ross is going to love that. Already best special teams in football. Frank Ross, thank you. I like Jamal Hill for him. Cade Stover, continuity between him and CJ Stroud. He's not, rushed into being a starting tight end. You still have Dalton Schultz. Brevin Jordan made some plays here and there. You never know what you get out of Tegan Cotoriano. Jawar Jordan. Mel Kiper said the very underrated running back that he had higher on the board. So Jawar Jordan out of Louisville, we'll see what he does. He's going to be battling with Damian Pierce for RB2. Also another special teams guy. Last 3 picks, we'll see what happens. Marcus Harris was somebody that was really getting a lot of talk and praise on. Fits that DeMeco Ryan scheme, 6'2", 286. Yes, undersized, but DeMeco likes undersized defensive linemen, and he likes how they fit this scheme. So we'll see. Overall, I thought it was just an average draft. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it wasn't, once you see how everything kind of fit in the puzzle, it's like, oh, okay, this is how everything makes sense. All right.
Okay. Ammo, what's your thoughts on the draft?
I thought the Texans had the worst draft of the division, and that's not because it was a bad draft, but I agree with him. I think it was an average draft. But then again, you're the only team that didn't have a first-round pick, so you don't have a first-round pick.
We
that's
did
automatic.
Basically, Stephon Diggs, but you're right.
When you don't have a first-round pick, it's always going to push down the star talent that you're probably drafting. So it's really kind of some of that. I like the Lassiter kid and the Fisher pick. I liked him as well. And then, the other guys are a lot of like question marks, but anytime you're getting that deep in the draft, that's all they are anyway. I did like the Stover pick. Again, continuity with CJ Stroud. That's a good thing for the exact same reasons. You don't have to force him into a starting role because you never really want to do that with a mid-round fucking tight end, but I like it. Again, worst draft of the division, but that's only because it was pretty solid drafts for the rest of the division, and they didn't have a first-round pick.
Okay. RJ, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with Emma. Granted, you guys not having a first-round pick makes you guys automatically the worst draft class in the division, in my opinion. It's not, like I said, basically what Emma said. It's not that it's just bad. It's just that you guys, I mean, you won the division and you guys was in the playoffs, so you're gonna have you're gonna have a deeper pick than everybody else is. So, but I do like Kamari Lassiter. I really liked him coming out of Georgia, but my only problem with him is with Wanda saying I didn't want him in the second round because he ran a 4.6. And I can't trust no corner on the outside that runs a 4.6. Like, it's just not. You're gonna have to put him in the slot, in my opinion. And I think he'll be a good slot corner, And if he becomes a good slot, he's worth that second round pick. So,
okay, Josh.
Yeah, much like what the other guys are saying, these are just depth picks. You guys get well in free agency to where your drafts are like what it is. So having, like I said, these guys I don't know anything about other than the Lassiter pick. Like I said, you guys, your free agency, you got an edge rusher in Hunter, you got a receiver, you got your old line is back healthy, so there's not much you guys can do in the draft that push out over the top because you did everything in free agency.
Okay. Well, I saw a draft coverage with Jason Braddock on there. He covers the Houston Texans, and I love what he said. He said the Texans were drafting for not just Plan A, but Plan B, C, and D. As everybody, the whole AFC South was banged up with injuries, but so was the Texans, especially on the offensive line. And I think that's what they addressed. And the good thing about winning the division is you don't have to go for best pick available. You can go for needs. And I think that's what the Texans did. They went after needs instead of the best player available. So that's what happens when you win. So
for sure.
Yeah,
what's that?
Y'all win a division and you go deep in the playoffs like you guys did. Your draft is not going to be.
Right. It's not going to be sexy, right?
Like, huh?
Yeah, it's not going to be sexy, right? Like,
yeah, it's not going to be a sexy draft.
Right. It's not Gia Gutty looking, but it's a good draft. It's a decent draft. Well, again, let's go to the schedule, and I'll start off with Josh. What you got the Texans going with this schedule?
I know we had this conversation over the weekend, me and you, on Twitter, because I got tired of seeing the 13-4. You guys are really good. Yeah, the 13-4 that's outrageous. I see you guys winning between 10 and 12 games as your ceiling. And me hoping as a fan, of course, I'm hoping you guys have a slump, which started with your quarterback having a sophomore slump. I'm hoping and praying. I'm gonna pray tonight. I hope that he sucks.
And that's crazy considering you have a sophomore quarterback too.
I beat up sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, Ammo, you got a quarterback that's been around to see a mid. So I mean, come on, man. Our quarterback's got time to shine. Your quarterback's been around, and you
I
had
mean,
all your OCs and head
if you
coaches.
want the world to publicly hear you say some nonsense, that's on you.
I'm not the only one saying that. You guys gonna get that man 50 million, and everybody's saying you
I
shouldn't
hope
give it
we
to him.
do. I hope we do.
I pray to
No,
the
I hope they
heavens pay that man 50
I hope
million.
they give him a fucking Pat Mahomes contract, 10 years, 500 million. Let's do it.
You
You
heard
love
it.
Trevor Lawrence that much? Like he's that guy to you.
He's a franchise quarterback, absolutely. I'm not saying he's
Yeah,
the
right.
generational guy that everybody tries to tout him
Oh
as. That's not what
man.
I'm saying, because I've never been the guy that said he's the generational talent. That's never come out of my mouth. But he's definitely a franchise quarterback, and when you put on the film, you can absolutely see that. I can't help you if you don't want to put it on.
They
Well,
put it on last year, and he got the same numbers as Gardner Minshew. So
Yeah, because you're putting up numbers on a box score because you're not pulling up the film, my guy.
well,
You got Tank Bigsby, like I said, volleyball batting passes to DBs. You got Evan Ingram, getting mugged, no call interceptions. Like there's things that are not on Trevor that show up in the box score against Trevor. So I'm just saying, you don't want to put on the film, you're not going to see the real thing.
So what for what reason did you guys go get Mac Jones?
Because CJ Beathard couldn't be trusted to take over for Trevor. They wouldn't let him sit one of the 4 weeks of the 4 different injuries that they got. They didn't feel comfortable enough with their backup quarterback with their 8-3 record to start CJ Beathard. They would rather start a hobbled and hurt Trevor Lawrence and risk the entire season than put CJ Beathard out there. So they wanted to upgrade their backup quarterback spot.
Damn. Hey Josh, bro, I see the other side of this shit now, bro. I see what
Yeah.
I see how I sounded.
Let's
I
go
see
back
how-
to
I see how I sounded, bro.
the real
I
AFC.
see it now, bro. I see it.
Let's go back to the real AFC champs. And
Okay,
Ammo,
okay.
So what you got with the schedule of the Texans?
I think they probably win 10 or 11. 12 is my ceiling for them.
You can play this up while I'm
They got some tough games in there. 12 if some things roll the right way for them, but I really think 10 or 11. It's going to be a slugfest throughout the whole division.
Okay.
I think it's going to be tight, like I said.
RJ, what about you, brother?
My predictor, I had the Texans at 11-6. So I got you guys at 11 wins, and you guys will be taking that L in week 18 though. we whooping that ass.
Yeah, we'll be resting players for the playoffs. So you're right.
We'll see.
That'd be good for the Titans' 4th win of the season.
Harley, what you got us, brother?
Yeah, so I did a predictions video already, or a little short actually, where I had the high ceiling win count. I had it at 12 wins. I think that's the highest ceiling for the Texans. Really depends on, again, CJ Stroud. And, this is the same conversation I've had with the rest of the AFC South quarterbacks. Given those CJ Stroud has had one of the most fantastical rookie years of any time in the NFL. Way better than any of the other quarterbacks that are playing in the AFC South. So with that being said, I think the Texans could win 10, 11 games overall, realistically. I'm chilling with them. I think on paper, roster-wise, they're the best roster in this division. Again, on paper. We'll see how everything plays out at the end of the day. But there's a lot of fanatical Texans fans out there, with the 13, 14, 15 wins. Look, I get it, man. They're hyped. It's been a long time. It's been a while, man.
And I know fans like that, come see me and let me take the under on that, and I'll take your money.
No, hey, man, I don't mind them being a little hyped, man. Going through a year of David Coley and another year of Lovie Smith, felt like it was 10 years of hell. So I understand that. See, 20 and those crazy.
No.
Hey, you know what? Why not?
That's not little hype. That's not little hype, man. That's not little hype. You guys are calling man Jesus Christ. That's not little hype. You guys
I've never said it. I've never called him Jesus Christ whatsoever. But the rest of the group chat, they want to call him. They want to call him JC. That's no problem, man. I mean, the man, the man is a man of God. I mean, it is what it is. I ain't got no problem with
40
it.
40 and 0.
40 games. See how crazy? I mean, but that's how hyped they are, man. So it's fun to get into.
I feel you, bro. Y'all have the right to be hyped. Y'all
hey, and it is what it is. But like I said, I think 10, 11 wins realistically is what I'm really looking at. 12 wins is the highest ceiling. They go anything higher than that, oh boy, then oh man, that now we're talking, bro. Realistically, 10 to 12 wins, I think, is what we're in between.
Yeah, I gotta go same with Harley. I got 12-5 as the ceiling, but I say 10-7 because this year's 10-7 is a lot different than last year's 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule's tougher, the division's tougher, so it's a lot gruesome. But like Harley said last week on the Texans fan battle, I don't care if they win the division or not. Get to the playoffs. Titans a couple years back, they didn't win the division. They made it to the AFC Championship. Like it doesn't matter what we do in the offseason.
We all know the Texans won't make it to one of those.
Well,
Yeah,
you never
I
know.
was about to say that.
You never know. Things change. Everybody said that the Texans would never win the division for another 5 years, and look what happened. Things change. So you never know. But what I was saying, it doesn't matter what you do in the season.
Man, Luke out here signing these boys, man. I'm sorry. I'm watching
No problem.
It all matters what you do in the playoffs. And I mean, we crapped the bed on that Ravens game, but again, that has first year coach, first year quarterback, first year OC. Look what we did in the Cleveland game. There's a lot to build on. So, like Harley says, it's exciting to be a Texans fan. So all we gotta do is get to the playoffs, and that's where the magic happens. So.
I think my thing is for the Texans this year, man, is gonna see how you guys battle adversity, man, because it's gonna hit you this year, bro. People you getting everybody's best game, you know what I'm saying? And I want to see how you guys handle adversity. And if you guys handle adversity this year, most definitely 12 wins, you know. So.
Yeah, and the bad thing about the schedule too on the Texans after the bye is. Dude, it's a straight no lube to the Texans. Like the NFL raw dog you.
Y'all got hella primetime games too, though. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, but we got.
I'd rather get the tough part of the schedule out early. That's why, like the Jaguars getting the 4 games to start the season. That sucks. They might be 1-3 to start the year, but I'd rather get it out of the way early and play easier football down the stretch than the other way around.
Yeah, because the last game we got the Chiefs on the Saturday, and then turn around and you got the Ravens on Wednesday for Christmas. Like that's a tough. And then Miami, that 4 game, and the end with the Titans. That 4 game stress right there.
Well, you got Tennessee, Jacksonville. You got a bye, then Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I talked about. That last bit of the schedule. It's tough.
Right.
Yeah.
You better rack.
Are you worried about it?
Yeah, well, you talking about the last 3 games where we got to play every single team in the division?
No, I'm talking about Hardy. I was asking Hardy if he's worried about that last 4 game for the Texans.
I'm more worried about the 3 right there. And that's no disrespect to the Titans, but I'm looking at, hey man, you want to be considered, and I know Texans fans, we talk about it all the time and how much they're hyped and everything. But you want to be considered the top dogs of the AFC. Like those are the 3 games to show it. Those are the 3 games to like it. It's gonna like even if you lose one of those games, 2 of those games, obviously it's gonna hurt. But it's how you lose those games. If you get your ass blown out, no Diddy, like same old Texans, same old, and it's gonna be the same. It's gonna resonate same over here in Houston. Oh man, these are the same old guys, but. If the Houston Texans actually do win some of those games, or let's say lose by a field goal at the last seconds, okay, they competed with the Chiefs and lost 34-31. Oh, damn, that's not so bad. Oh, they actually beat the Ravens on Christmas Day and actually did their thing, avenged the loss last year from the playoffs. Oh, okay, that's a little bit different. All right. So that's to me is the 3 games I'm like, yeah, I'm worried about, but I'm anticipating like the Houston Texans to show their true colors in them 3 games, depending on their schedule and how they look, obviously. But if they want to be considered one of the top teams in the AFC and or NFL, like those are the 3 games you really gonna. And obviously, you got the Lions, you got the Bills as well. You still got to take care of your division always, but like that's what you got to do, man.
I don't think no division game is gonna be easy for y'all. I'm gonna let you know that everybody's gonna bring y'all.
No game period is gonna be easy for us.
Yeah.
So,
But I look at this, man. You said you're not worried about the Titans. Like even when we was winning the division with Derrick Henry running for 200 on y'all was still keeping up with us. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter if you good or not. The Texas Titans are gonna be close. It just is what it is.
I mean, I didn't mean that to sound like a shot or anything. I just meant more like, hey, I'm looking at those. I'm really anticipating those 3 games to be like, well, okay, these are the kind of Houston Texans we got. Week 1, I know we were talking about it with the Colts. I got them as an L. I really do. I got the Texans starting off with an L. I am loving the. I just put out a video 2 days ago with the Zaire Franklin, on the Greenlit podcast with Chris Long talking about CJ Stroud and how CJ Stroud cooked the Indianapolis Colts. I thought it was a hilarious comment. I never really listened to the actual comment from Sirius XM, so I'll have to, deep dive better into it. But I just thought it was hilarious, and I do believe that the Colts are going to be like, hey, okay, they beat us week 18. Oh yeah, we're going to be like, and it's not just the Colts. Like RJ said, everyone, man, we've been talked about through all the national media. Everybody, like we are the darlings of the NFL right now. Everyone's little cute pick is the Texans for the Super Bowl pick and everything, and cool. I love it. I love the hype train. I love finally getting some attention. The city of Houston doesn't really get a lot of national media love at all. But hey, let's get on the field and let's see what happens. Overall, though, I still think we got a good.
I remember a team getting a lot of hype last year, coming into 2023. I wonder who that team was.
It isn't a good thing to get hype like that, bro. You want to be
cool. That's cool.
I like what we at. With the media say we gonna win 2 games, 3 games, 4 games.
Low expectations, man.
Keep low expectations, hype, bro.
I want the high expectations. I want it. That's what I want. I mean, I'm different. Like, hey, people want to shy away from competition. Then hey, that's why you've never won a Super Bowl. Hey, I want to win a Super Bowl. That's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to shy away from the hype. I want all the hype. I want all the attention. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Are we gonna fall on our face and people gonna make fun of us and you gonna be on Ghetto Gronk's memes for the rest of, like, yeah, sure. People gonna make fun of you when you lose, but it's gonna be very sweet if you actually live up to those expectations and you actually live up to that hype.
Yeah,
I agree.
A lot of fans are saying, well, you gotta worry about this team, you gotta worry about that team. A lot of fans of those teams, like the Chiefs, of the Ravens, of the Dolphins, of the Bills, are saying the same thing about the Texans. So it is a different team. The fans are saying, well, we got to worry about the Texans. That we haven't heard that in a while. We have not heard that in a while. So, yeah, we got a little chip on our shoulder. We deserve it. Like Hardy said, David Coley, Lovie Smith, Deshaun Watson, we deserve the chip there, guys. Like, yeah, the Jaguars – been through some dark ages, but man, that dark age with the Deshaun Watson and everything, that was rough. So Texas.
Whoa! You can't compare your dark ages to us. Ours lasted a lot longer.
Yeah. Jacksonville had some shit days, man.
Bro, we went 10 years without making it to the playoffs.
True. I'll give you that. We missed those days, right?
So y'all already saying that CJ Stroud better than Deshaun Watson was for y'all?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily?
Easily.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson.
I don't think that's an easily. I think he definitely.
Okay, so let me ask this question: is CJ better than Matt Schaub?
I'm not putting one season over quarterbacks that played years. Like, I'm not a Matt Schaub fan, and I think that CJ Stroud will end up the better quarterback. But 1 year we're just anointing this dude over guys who played quite a few years.
Didn't anoint anybody. Obviously, he's just better than Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he took us exactly where Deshaun Watson took you. Okay.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
And also,
I mean,
Deshaun Watson,
projectively, like you're looking at what his potential can be. That I mean, it should be better and better and better. Am I not wrong? I mean, if anything, Trevor Lawrence was this generational prospect that was supposed to be all the way up here and has just been very, very, very average for the whole entirety of his career. Cool, awesome.
I just it's too early to say this, man. We no one like dude said. I'm not 100% agreeing with what he's saying. I don't think he's going to struggle, but you got to wait till teams catch up to how he plays to see what he is as a quarterback before we say that, you know what I'm saying, that he's better than
struggle.
That's cool.
He's not going to struggle. He's not going to struggle.
I'm confident. I'm confident he's going to do his thing.
Well, look.
Yeah, you should. He's a good quarterback. You know,
I get a lot of hate for this comparison, but it's true. Deshaun Watson is basically Matt Schaub. They both did the same thing. Both went to 2 Pro Bowls. Both led the NFL once in passing yards. Like they did not move the needle for the Houston Texans. They didn't win no awards. C.J. Stroud, the yard-1 rookie of the year. He placed an MVP voting. Like Hardy says, his potential is through the roof. So I think already as a Texan, I think he's already better. But that's just.
I think he ends up the better player than all of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he does too.
But what I'm saying is 1 year versus guy who's put up 3 or 4 good years is hard to.
But also, guys,
that's all. If he does it again this year, then he's absolutely past both of them without question in my eyes. But I'm not doing it after one single season.
So let me ask you.
One single season is not enough to declare somebody a bust or a fucking superstar for the rest of their career.
I agree with you that, but all 4 of us have brand new quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. So let me ask y'all 3 a question. Me and Harley already know the answer. So say y'all's quarterback got y'all to the playoffs, got your franchise looking like it's going to do something. You give him a major ass contract and cried his way out of that contract without playing 1 down. You wouldn't be a little salty about it?
I had a Jalen Ramsey situation that was,
and a little salty about it, weren't you?
I ain't faulting you for being salty at all. My only point is I can't put people after one.
I get that, but I mean that's probably where I'm going with it.
Now, if he went out and he threw 45 touchdowns and fucking 7 interceptions in his rookie year, then maybe I would do it for 1 year. But he didn't do that in 1 year, so I'm going to say if he does it after this year, then I'm putting him over there.
Yeah. Well, hope, all we can do is hope, right?
There should be no reason he doesn't.
Right.
Progress.
Yeah,
there
should have a better season.
He's got a better wide receiver core. He's got a better offensive line. He's got a better overall team. He's going to have a harder schedule, but there should be no reason why he doesn't take the next step and should absolutely do that.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. This is the make or break, right? So hopefully we'll see it.
This is the proof that he's not Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dak Prescott's not that bad a quarterback.
He's a good quarterback, but he has a silly, you know what I'm saying?
If he was on any other team than the Cowboys,
I mean,
that's what I'll be explaining to people.
The Cowboys are doomed to just suck because they deserve it, and their fans suck.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, guys, wise words of my boy Crenshaw. This is the worst part of the podcast because it's the end. Tell us what you got cooking, where we can find you on social media, so that way we can support you. RJ, I'll start with you, man. Where we can find you and what you got cooking?
Yeah, most definitely, man. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, you know what I'm saying, YouTube, man, Titus Coliseum Podcast, man, and most definitely, you know what I'm saying. I'm a rapper as well. Well, I say I'm an artist because I do a lot of things, so I'm pretty versatile. So I say I'm an artist, man. If you want to come, you can go to my Twitter page, man. Click on my link tree, man. You can find all my music there as well. So.
All right, you got the next Isaiah Wilson in the building. Let's go. Anyway, what you got, brother? What you got cooking?
You can check me out on Twitter or X at AmmoJags. That's pretty much it right now.
Okay, Josh, what about you?
You catch us next Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern time. for the Hush Your Mouth podcast. We're gonna be discussing the next 4 games of the season, and then you can find me at Who Is Y'all Senior.
All right, and Mr. Dugan, where we find you at?
You can find me at @TheLead_Houston anywhere on social media, especially on YouTube. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, already past 8K. So, continuing to grow. Thank you, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe while you're here. If you're still watching, you're a trooper. Go ahead, smash that like button. Easiest smash of your life. And hey, man, let's get it on, man. Let's take this division. Let's have the Houston Texans do something special this year. How about that, guys?
Yes, sir. You can find me at A1 Day One Texans, and of course on Wednesday nights, where you can sometimes find Harley on the Texans Fan Battle podcast. Make sure you follow us everywhere there. We're on the road for 5,000. Not impressive like Harley's doing, but we're halfway there at 2.5. So make sure you hit that like button. Not just to ours, but to the Coliseum, to the Horseshoe Mob, and of course the AFC South Fan Battle, where you can find it everywhere at AFCSFB. And next week, hopefully, we'll get Sam back from her transition surgery. Until then, guys, y'all have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the